Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Kosi, and in today's video I will be sharing with you guys on how I made my 6 pieces blouse. So I used the one inside of my screen to recreate mine with Ankara here. So my material wasn't enough, that's why I couldn't make the puffy sleeve as inspired in the picture. So I made this small sleeve here, as you can see. So if you're interested to learn how I made this, please keep on watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment down below, and let's get into today's video. So guys, I already gone ahead to draft out the basic bodies, so I'll be explaining what those lines are and what I did here. So firstly, I placed my tape and I came down by 22 inches, which was my top length. Then I added extra 1 inch for the sewing allowance, as you can see. So from my shoulder, I came down by 1 inch, and I also came down by 7.5 inches for my armhole depth. So I also marked 3 inches for the neck wideness, and also came down by 3.5 for the neck depth, you can see. Then there is my starting point. That line there is my starting point, and as you can see, from my shoulder to the chest line I have 7.5 inches. So how I got this was to divide my bust circumference by 6. I added extra 1.5 inch. When I did that, I got 7.5. So that's my armhole depth. So right here you can see that I made my shoulder slope, as you can see. So after that, I measured what I have left, then I divided it into two, and also came in by half an inch, and I also marked quarter of my bust circumference. I marked it, so from there I made my curve for the armhole. So that's my chest line, my bust point, under bust, waistline, and the top length. So I just placed my tape, and for the chest line you can see that is 7.5 inches for the chest line. So from the shoulder to my bust point I have 9.5. From my shoulder to my under bust I have 12.5. From my shoulder to the waistline I have 15 inches. From my shoulder to the top length I have 23 inches in total, you get. So the main length there is 22 plus 1 inch for the seam allowance, do you get? So right here, what I'm going to be doing next is to divide my nipple to nipple into two. Mine is always 7 inches, divided by 2 should give me 3.5, but I added extra half inch to make it 4 inches for the seam allowance, do you get? So I marked it on my bust point. I marked 4 inches on my bust point. On my waistline I marked 3.5. On my top length I also marked 3.5, you get. So after that I used my ruler to connect it from the top length. From the waistline I connected it to the top length, as you can see. So I also go ahead and connect the one I have on the bust point to the waistline. So I marked 3.5 here on the under bust. The only place I marked 4 inches was my bust point. Only on my bust point, that was the only place I marked my 4 inches. The rest of them was 3.5 downwards, do you get? So after I was done connecting, you can see that the line is not straight, it's somehow slanting. So here I placed my tape from the armhole. I got 8.5. You can see how I measured it. So go ahead and see how I measured it. So I placed my tape from there. I will just measure the curve I have for my armhole. So what I have there was 8.5 inches. So I'll just place my tape, then divide the 8.5 into 2. It gave me 4.2. So I'll just mark my 4.2. You can see that I made my point. So I'll just connect it from there to meet the bust point. Can you see? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Please pay very attention so you understand what I'm saying here. So after connecting, you can see where I have here. Can you see? So go ahead and connect yours like this. So after I was done doing this, next thing I'm going to be doing here is on the top length. I'll just place my tape, then I'll mark 2 inches. If you're busty, you can mark 2.5 inches. If you're busty, for me, I'm not busty, so I just marked 2 inches. You can see. So I marked this on the top length. I marked it on the waistline. Also marked it on the under bust line. So from there, I'll just connect it to give me a straight line, just like this. Can you see? So after I was done doing that, I'll place my curve rule. So from the under bust, I'm going to connect it to the, I just make my curve to meet the bust point, just like this. So when I was through with that, what I'll do here is on the armhole where I marked my 4.2, I will place my tape, then mark 1 inch. So that's for my bust tightening. So from there, I connected it to the bust point, and after connecting, I noticed that it was somehow sharpened. So I just went ahead to blend it. So the cup point is not going to, the bust point is not going to be sharpened at the cup side, you get. So go ahead and blend it if yours came out sharpened, you get, or sharp, anyhow you choose to call it. So after I was done doing that, I also placed my tape. Then here You can decide to come outside by 2 inches, or you can decide to come outside by 1.5. For me, I marked 1.5 inches. You get? So after marking my 1.5 inches, I'll just go ahead and connect it. You can see from the armhole, I just made my cuff. Go ahead and connect it like this. So that 1.5 inches I marked was because this is princess that, so I had to mark it so it's going to be very enough for me when joining it. So I won't have any problem when joining it. Do you get? So the fabric is not going to short when joining it. Do you get? So after that, I marked my bust. Sorry, I divided my bust circumference by 4. I marked it, then I added 2 inches for the seam allowance. Also added the half inch for the dart. So on the waistline, divide your waist circumference by 4, mark it, then replace your dart of 2 inches. Also add your 2 inches for your seam allowance. So on your top length, you're going to divide your hip circumference by 4, mark it, add 2 inches, then replace your 2 inches or 2.5. Whatever inches you added, go ahead and replace. Do you get? Don't forget to add your normal seam allowance. After I was done doing that, I'll just go ahead and connect it. So from the bust line, just go ahead and connect it to meet your top length, just like this. Can you see? So after I was done doing this, this is what I have here. Can you see? Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is just go ahead and shade this part. So this part I'm shading right here will be cut off. You get? So you know the part you're going to cut in when cutting it. Do you get? Now I'll just go ahead and cut it just like this. Then after cutting, I'll also go ahead and draft the back, also cut it out as well.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way.
So when I'm through with that, what I will do here is to bring my marker, and I'm just going to label what I have there. So I'll label the waistline. I'll label the waistline, label the chest line, the bust point, the under bust, and the top length. You get? I also do the same thing on the other side, just like this. Also label the top length. Can you see? Then after I was done doing that, you can see what I have here. Can you see? So right here, I will just go ahead and trim off this side here. Can you see? I've gone ahead to trim it off. So I'll just cut out the back pattern. We'll go ahead and cut out the back pattern. So guys, for the back, I already gone ahead to draft out everything I did on the front, both the chest line, the bust point, under bust, waistline, and the top line. So I used my black marker here because the blue one I had was somehow fainting. It was just fainting anyhow, so I just had to change it. You guys, so when I place my tape, I have my top length, and for the neck wideness, I marked 3 inches for the neck wideness. For the neck depth, because this is the back, so I marked 1.5 inches. I came down by 1.5 inches for the neck depth, just like this. So you can see the chest line and all of that. Now for the zipper allowance, what I have there for my zipper allowance was 1.5 inch. Okay, that is 1.5 inches. So after that, I'm marking 4 inches for the nipple to nipple. You know, I added half inch for the stitching for the sewing allowance. So after marking my 4 inches here, it was 3.5. So I added half inch to make it 4 inches. I went ahead to mark it from the bust point down to the bust, sorry, down to the top length, and I also made a straight line with it. So just like I did on the front pattern, I'll just go ahead and measure here, then mark the half of what I have for my armhole side. Then I'll just go ahead and connect it just like this. Can you see? So after connecting it to the bust point, you can see what I have here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing here is to also go ahead and blend it. Anytime you connect to your bust point, if it's sharp, if you notice that side is sharp, just go ahead and connect. Just go ahead and blend it. So I also came up here by 1.5 inches. You can see when I marked it. So the line is not supposed to be straight, so I made it slanty like this. Can you see? So just mark your line in a slant form, or in a slant line, and I choose to call it. So on the waistline, I subtracted half an inch on both sides. On the top length, I came up by 2 inches. You get? So from there, I went ahead to connect it just like this. Can you see? Now after I was done doing that, on the bust point, I came up by 1 inch. So from there, I also go ahead and connect it to the half an inch I have on the both line for the waist side. Just like this. Can you see? I'll just connect it to the waistline on both side, and I choose to understand it. So guys, after I was done doing that, I'm going to also extend the waistline for the back. I extended it to the zipper allowance. So from there, I subtracted half an inch on the other side of the zipper. So this is just to avoid or to eliminate the zipper bulge. So after sewing it, you're not going to have a zipper bulge at the back. So after I was done marking my half an inch, I went ahead to connect it. So from the neckline, you can see how I did that. I just went ahead to connect it. You can see. So now I have removed the zipper bulge. Can you see? So right now, after I was done doing that, right now just go ahead and mark my bust circumference, add the 2 inches for the seam allowance on the waist. I marked it, then replaced the dart of 1 inch, and I also added the 2 inch for the seam allowance on the top length. I also added the hip and also add 2 inches for the seam allowance. So after that, I went ahead to connect it just like you see me doing. Can you see? So after I was done doing that, the next thing I'm going to be doing here is on the armhole side. I'll just make a curve. I'll just make a curve to connect it just like this. Can you see what I just did here? You can always do this with your free hand if you don't have a curve rule. So after I was done doing that, what I'll do next is to go ahead and cut it off.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear.
So just like we did at the front, after cutting it out, I labeled the top length, the waistline, under bust, the bust point and the chest line and the shoulder line as well. So after doing that, go ahead and label it. Then after I was done doing that, you can see where I have here. So right now, remember it's a 6 pieces blouse. So after labeling the zipper allowance here, what I will do next is to just label the back as the back pattern. As you can see, I also label the front as the front pattern. So this is the back and also this is the front. You can see I used my black and blue marker here, and I also explained why I did so. So right here I have my sellotape, my white sellotape. So I brought it along. Then I had to place this piece of paper. You can see that the extra paper I added at the front was folded into two, and I'll just go ahead and trace out the lines for the top length. So this is the front pattern, the center front pattern. So right now what I did was to mark 3 inches at the top length. Then from the waistline, I went ahead to connect the line to meet the side I marked my 3 inches. You can see this is the front pattern, so don't be confused. After doing that, I also come up by 1.5 inches on the top length side. Go ahead and curve it when you are done doing that. Then after you are done doing this, you can go ahead and cut it off. So these are the 6 pieces. I'm just adding the pieces for the blouse. So guys, at this point, if you want your fillet or pieces more wide, you can decide to add 4 inches on the top length side or 5 inches. You get? So me, I added 3 inches, as you all can see. So now I'm done cutting the pieces or the fillet for the center front. So right here, I will just go ahead and cut out the pieces of fillet for the side front. So here is the side front. As you can see, I'm sellotapeing it. After taping it like this, what I'm going to do now is to, you can see how I spread the extra paper here. You can see how I spreaded it. So for the center front, I just spreaded only the other side because it's the center front. So for this side, it's going to be joined at both sides, right? So that's why I spreaded it like this. Then I just traced the waistline. I also marked it. Then from there, on the top length on the side, I marked 3 inches on this side and I also marked 3 inches on the other side. So I also used my my ruler to connect it from the waistline to meet the place I marked 3 inches on the top length. Do you get? Now after I was done doing that, I'll just place my tape here on the side. I'll come up by 1.5 inches. I'll also mark 1.5 inches here. I'll just go ahead and curve it just like this. So you can also decide to come up by 2 inches. Alright, you can decide to come up by 2 inches. This determines on how curvy you want the side to be. You get, so if you want it very curvy, more curvy, go ahead and come up by 2 inches. You get, so after I was done doing that, you can see that I've gone ahead to cut it off. Just look at what I'm doing here. So guys, the same thing I did on the side and on the front pattern, I would repeat the same thing on the back pattern as well. So guys, after I was done cutting, I just turned it over to the wrong side on the pattern. So I'll just go ahead and trace out the waistline on the front, trace out the waistline at the other side, go ahead and make a straight line with it. Then I'll just go ahead and cut it off. This is an extra piece, so I just had to cut it off. You get, so after I was done cutting, this is where I have here. Can you see? So right now, just go ahead and repeat the same thing I did here on the back pattern. Just take a good look at what I'm doing here, so you understand how you do yours.
Heroes tonight, we will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes.
So guys, after cutting the flare for the center back, I'll do the same thing for the side back as well. So after I was done cutting the flare or the pieces for all the patterns, this is it. So this is what I have here after I was done cutting all the piece. You can see how everything is looking. So go ahead and cut yours like this. So I'll just go ahead and transfer all this to the fabric, to the main fabric. So here is my fabric. I already gone ahead to fold it into two, just like this. So what I'm going to do now is to trace out the waistline small, and I'm going to add ½ inch for the stitching allowance only on the flare side. You get, only on the flare side. So go ahead and add your ½ inch for the stitching allowance only on the flare side. So after I was done adding it, I'll just go ahead and cut it off. Just look at what I'm doing here.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own.
So guys, after cutting the center front, you can see what I have here. Just go ahead and do the same thing on all the pieces you have.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step.
Guys, this is the center side. After cutting everything for the center side, you can see what I have here. Can you see? So right here, I'll just go ahead and cut out the sleeve. So this is the small sleeve. It's just a basic sleeve. It's very short sleeve because of the fabric. It wasn't enough, so that's why I cut this small sleeve here. So I'll just go ahead and make some pleats at the end of it. Can you see? So for the sleeve here, I'll just place my tape. What I have here was 8 inches for the length. You can see how small it is for the length. So this is my lining and my stay. I'll just go ahead and iron my stay. Also cut out the lining for all the pieces as well. So these are the pieces I have here. So I already gone ahead to iron my stay on all the piece, and I also cut out my lining as well. You can see. So right here, I took off the back. The back patterns will be the back main fabric. So I'll just remove all the pins. Then I'll just go ahead and start sewing for the front piece for now. Do you get? So after removing all my pins, I'll just go ahead and open it up the right side. Also open the side as well. Can you see? So now I'm going to just place the side. Just place them like this. The right side. Make sure they are facing the right side. Then go ahead and sew with ½ inch. So you're going to sew it like this. So I also do the same thing for the other side as well. Now I'll just keep it aside. Then this is the back. After removing all the pins for the back, what I'll do here is to also go ahead and do the same thing for the back. Just place them the right side facing each other. You can see how I placed it. This is the back. Place them like this, the right side facing each other, then go ahead and sew with your half inch, just like this. Then I'll do the same thing for the other side of the back. After doing that, I will be right back. So guys, this was what I had after I was done sewing. Now you can see that I also ironed my seam opening. So whenever you are sewing or after sewing or after joining anything you're joining, go ahead and iron your seam opening. Can you see? I ironed my seam opening and this is how it's looking like. So I didn't pad it. I just made the core. I didn't pad it. So this is how everything is looking. So this is the lining as well. I also did the same thing for the lining. Just like this. Can you see? So this is the front lining and these are both sides for the back. So right here, I will just place the lining on top of the front piece. Place them the right side facing each other. After placing them like this, you're going to sew on the top length, that is on the hem part. Go ahead and sew also on the neckline. Sew the both side as well. Then leave some space for your turn up. You get. Then I also do the same thing for the back piece as well. So this is the back piece. Also place your lining the right side. Place your lining, sorry, the right side facing each other. Go ahead and sew from the hem part. Also sew on the zipper side. Sew on your neckline using your half an inch. Also leave some space for your turn up. You get when you are done sewing everything. But before sewing it, what I'm going to do is to trim off half an inch on the lining part. So go ahead and trim off your half an inch on the lining part. So you're going to have a turn up at the hem part of your fabric. You get, just go ahead and trim off half an inch on your lining, just like you see me doing. So after doing this on the front lining, I'm going to also do the same thing for the side. So I went ahead to sew it. Then after trimming off the half an inch for the lining and the sewing as well, I went ahead to trim off the little excess I have there. So you can see that I left some space for my turn up. So I'll just turn it over from there. So for the neckline, I went ahead to make a notching for the neckline. So don't forget to notch your neckline anytime you're done sewing, you get. So after I was done doing that, you can see where I have here. I also did the same thing on all the pieces I have, both the front and the back. You can see what I have here, guys. So this is what I have here, guys. After I was done sewing, this was what I had. So I left some space where I'm going to be turning it over. So you can decide to leave some space, so you can turn it over, or you can turn it over from your armhole side. You know, there is open, so you can turn it over from your armhole side, or you leave some space. You get. So I'll just go ahead and turn it over to the right side. So after turning everything over to the right side, I also went ahead to iron it out, as you all can see. So this is the back. You can see that the back line is very neat. This is what I have here, guys. This is the back for the front. You can see. So right now, what I'm going to be doing right now is to go ahead and place them the right side facing each other. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and join my shoulder. So this is how I basically join my shoulder anytime I'm joining my shoulder. So go ahead and join it. Place them the right side facing each other on each shoulder. Just go ahead and place them like this. Then use one of the lining and turn it over to the other side just like this. Then go ahead and sew using your half an inch. You get. I'll do the same thing for the other side as well. So guys, after I was done joining my shoulders, you can see what I have here for the both shoulder. So right here, what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and fix my zipper. You get. So I'm using a black zipper for this. So this is my zipper. I have 24 inches here, so I'll just go ahead and join it. Just go ahead and fix my zipper like this. So guys, this is what I had after I was done joining my zipper. You can see how it's looking. Can you see? So right now, just flip it over to the front side. Then I'll just go ahead and pin it down like this. Make sure it's straight. Make sure it's very relaxed. Then you can see what I'm doing here. Just go ahead and pin them down like this. Use your pin to pin them down. You can see. Also do the same thing on the waist side. Go ahead and pin it down like this. So guys, after pinning, what I'll do now is to go ahead and fold them together like this. So I want to trim off the armhole side. So after placing them, you can see I placed the both armhole. Go ahead and place your tape. So I placed my tape. I will mark 7 inches at first. Then I'll go ahead and make my cuff just to see how it will come out to look like. After marking my curve here, I decided to add extra half an inch just to make it the 7.5 inch for my armhole depth. So I'll just go ahead and make my curve very well. Then also go ahead and cut it off just like this. Just look at how I'm cutting it out so you understand what I'm doing here. So guys, after trimming off my armhole side, you can see where I have here. Can you see how it's looking? Now my armhole is relaxed. Can you see? So when making your princess dart, or after making your princess dart, go ahead and trim off your armhole side. You get, go ahead and trim it off. So it's going to relax. So now it's time for me to join my sleeve. So this is the two sleeve here. What I'll do is to fold it like this. Just fold it into two like this. Go ahead and fold it straight like this, as you can see. Go ahead and sew on the tip. Sew them straight, and also do the same thing for the other side. Then go ahead and make some pleats. After making my pleats, I also go ahead and join it. Then also shape the both side for the blouse. So guys, after I was done joining my both side and after fixing my sleeve, you can see where I have here. So I just shaped the bust side and the waist. Then I used 1 inch to sew it straight down. You get, don't know if you understand what I'm saying. After shaping your bust side and your waist, use 1 inch to shape it down. You get, for the flare. And when you're ironing it, go ahead and iron your seam opening as well, so the side is going to relax properly. So this is me wearing it. So this is the final look after I was done. This is how it's looking. You can see that it's very fine on me. So this is how I made my 6 pieces blouse. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to share, like, and comment. Thank you so much for watching.